Hey, welcome, West Harrison family. This is my man cave. I just want to tell you a few things about myself, and I guess the best way to start it is we're in my man cave right here. As you can see, I'm always a Cyclone fan, and I think most of you knew that. But as you go around the room at all the different things I've picked up, Jack Trice Stadium, been a lot of football games there. It's been great. Hilton Coliseum, great basketball games. That's where you get the Hilton Magic. I've been to a lot of great games there. Not right now, but obviously, but there's been a lot of great games. And here are just some of my baseball memorabilia. This is from the state tournament games that I've been to. I've been to 3 state tournaments. My teams have. I've actually been coaching baseball for this will be my 30th year, but I actually started coaching before I even started teaching here. Yeah. But I actually coached Little League Baseball for 5 years, Cub B baseball, and actually some of those players ended up playing for me when I started high school baseball. And then my first year was in 1991. We actually made it to the sub-state finals, which was the final 8 teams. But back then, they only took 4 teams to state. So even though we made it to the final 8 teams, we didn't go to state. We went to the sub-state finals. I also coached high school girls basketball for 1 year. And it was 6-on-6. I told you how long ago that was. And I also coached junior high football for a year. And my first 2 years, I taught over in Utah, Nebraska. I coached junior high track and junior high basketball. So I've coached pretty much all the sports so far. And once we get to that point, if you pan around the room here, you can still see some of my Iowa State hats that I've collected over the years. This is not nearly all of them, but this is the only ones I can fit on the wall right now. And what I want you to show you here is kind of my life in hats. Up in the very first one is my high school team hat. I went to Counts Bluffs Thomas Jefferson. Graduated in 1982. Yes, that was a long time ago. And next to that is my Dana Vikings hat. Dana does not exist anymore. They closed down about 10 years ago, but I played baseball there, went down to Oklahoma, but we were the Dana Vikings. And during that time, that's when I was teaching at UTAN. That's a UTAN hat up there from UTAN Chieftains, is what they were. And I taught there for 2 years starting in 1988. And I actually befriended some of the kids that were on the baseball team there. And one of them that was a good friend of mine, eventually he ended up pitching at Creighton University when he got into when he got into college. And then these 3 hats are from the Pisgah Pirates. Some of you are going, the Pisgah Pirates? What does that mean? Well, it was a baseball league for adults out of high school. There was a lot of college players that came back and played it, but we had a league playing against Persia, Trice Center, a lot of different Portsmouth. And at the end of the year, we had an all-star game against Nebraska, actually at the stadium down, it's not there anymore, Rosenblatt Stadium. So I got to play at Rosenblatt Stadium a couple times on the all-star team. The next couple of hats are from the state baseball tournament that I've collected. Cubs hat, go Cubs. I know we finally won it in 2016. And my wife and I went to Chicago a couple of times and have seen a couple of Chicago Cubs hats. And over here, you'll see this first hat. Maybe not will come off there, but it was the West Harrison baseball team hat the year before I came. And it was the first thing I changed when I became a coach here. And this is the first hat that I had because I did not like that hat to start with. We changed uniforms, and then over the years, we changed hats every once in a while until eventually we got the hat that we wear today. So you can see I've gone through 6 different hats in about 30 years, so I guess we're due to change it if we wanted to from there. This is an all-star team hat. I've had a few players playing the all-star series that the high school puts on. I've got a couple of officiating hats because I officiated football for a short time. Also officiated wrestling for about 10 years. Then it's my EMS hats. I've been on the Mount Damon Fire and Rescue for 23 years as an EMT and a firefighter. I'm certified in all those. I started a junior EMS program, and this is our 14th year. And these are all my EMS hats from there. And so this is kind of my life in hats. This is only about a tenth of all the hats that I have. Most of the other ones are stored away in some storage hats I have above in my closet. So as we go through here, we're going to go through the laundry room. And probably the second most favorite part of of the house is the kitchen, because I like to eat also. And actually did make that meal today. It's pork chops with white potatoes. Yeah, that's what it was, Kim. And then as we know that we have to stay inside, we have to figure out things to do. Well, it's cold outside, so we do like to go outside with the grandkids, but we don't, so we brought outside to inside. So we decided to do some camping indoors. As you can see, Silas in there in the tent reading, because the other one is nap time, and we enjoy that time for nap time. See Ethan sleeping on the couch.
For your 80th birthday, but have you considered what's going to happen if you do keep going out and playing golf and you do get this and you're
And so that is kind of my life indoors during this virus for all the baseball players. Keep throwing, keep trying to hit. Don't get into groups, but try to keep your skills up. So I'm still hoping that we have our season. We're supposed to come back on that May 4th, and that's our first playing date, or our first practice date. So keep throwing, keep in shape. So until then, see ya.